Alright, welcome everyone to this video where I will be calculating Jinhsi's damage based on her sequence level, and you'll see how much more she's getting and getting as we go higher and higher. Before I continue, I just want to mention some things. There's some new mechanics being added with this character. Not new mechanics, it's been added before. I'm not sure how it's worded, right? Kuro games have made a little bit of wording mistakes previously, and there might be some here that may make some numbers look bigger than they're supposed to, and I can't go into it using with a use common sense mindset because these are constellations, right? They're supposed to be broken, but I don't know how far they're gonna go and how broken they're gonna make them. So I put what I believe was correct. I would wait until we can get some more information on them from the rest of the community. So I'm only doing what I believe is correct, right? How I'm perceiving it. And yeah, with that out of the way, if you found this video informative in any way, shape, or form, feel free to leave a like, subscribe. I'll be dropping more calculations and more theory crafting for these two characters, and then when the next characters get revealed, I'll start calculating for them and stuff, and I'll on and on. And yeah, with that out of the way, let's move on. Here's what I'm going to be using. I'll be using this set with this weapon. Reason I'm not using her best in slot is I wanted to get in between. I wanted the middle ground, so I didn't want the worst 5-star weapon, but I didn't also want to use the best 5-star weapon. This is gonna give me a good reading on just about how much damage she's doing. Uh, Everything you're seeing when you see like constellations doing this much more damage than the last constellation, that is gonna be on this build right here. This is for me specifically. These numbers can also be applied to you, but they'll fluctuate a little bit. Okay. My crit rate, crit damage is close enough to be 1 to 2. Could be better, but that's good enough for me. And yeah, I'm getting 90 crit value through substats basically, and yeah, everything's chilling like so. Here is the team I'm gonna be running, and here are the stats I will have once I'm fully buffed up and everything. All right, moving on. Here is sequence 0 Jinhsi. Right, and here's what you can expect to deal with a sequence 0 Jinhsi using this weapon. For these tests, I'm only going to show resonance skill 2, 3, 4, and then the ultimate. Whatever buffs resonance skill 2, 3, and 4 will also buff resonance skill 1, and none of the constellations are catered toward her basic attacks. Other than, of course, when you get an attack boost, of course you're gonna buff normal attacks. But Jinhsi's main point or main like shining point is resonance skills. She is a resonance skill dependent character. So here is everything we're looking like on resonant or sequence 0. I'm going to run you through how I got this number. These numbers right back here is the final. For resonance skill number 3, Crescent Divinity, it has a motion value of 100% plus 75.57, which is going to do 2 times, and then it's going to do 251.9. So how I done this is I've taken the motion value, I've put it over here, I've taken this one, I've put it over here, and I've taken this one, and I put it over here. This all gets multiplied by my attack, and then that will get multiplied by my crit value, which will then be multiplied by the enemy's defense. And you can see that the enemy's defense is knocking off half our damage. It's the biggest damage cuck in the game, and that's why Changli is going to be insane with their defense ignore. Then once you run through the enemy's defense, I'm going to run it through my damage bonus. Then I'm going to run it through every resistance. Every enemy in this game has 10%, so I'm only doing 90% damage. And that's going to go through my deepen. This deepen is Verena plus Tauchi. It should be 153, but it's now kind of like my trademark to leave this at 152 because I'm too lazy to go back and change it. So yeah, Resonance Skill 2, 3, 4, and Alt. Resonance Skill 4 has 2 parts, Solar Flare and Star Climber. Let's move on to Sequence 1. This one is going to give us a 80% damage bonus on our Resonance Skill 4. So you'll see a damage bonus nowhere else but Resonance Skill 4. And on Resonance Skill 4, it's going to raise a damage bonus. If you look at it now, 3.6, this is going to be a plus 28% damage increase using my character. Overall, I would say that's not bad for sequence 1. For something that you can buy out of the store with enough of those resources, yeah, this is not bad. This is the beautiful animation of her dragon spitting down, if you guys didn't know. So plus 28% of that is going to be nice. You're going to be hitting for a 168,000 on full incandescence, or you're going to hit 41,000 with 0 incandescence, shown over here, shown over here. And you're also going to do this cute little star glamour or solar flare damage. Looking at sequence 2, this gives us no damage, but it helps her get her incandescence. Now, by default, I don't think a sequence 0 Jinhsi will be able to get 40 incandescence in a rotation. This isn't confirmed or anything. I'm just assuming, right? I haven't gotten my hands to play with the character or none of that. But if you look at her kit, you'll see that she has a 1-second cooldown to get this resource, incandescence. And she needs 40 to get stacked, so you need 40 seconds, and I don't think any rotation is taking that long. And it's only 1 second after you use Jinhsi's outro. So being able to get 40, which is max, before you even enter combat means your first rotation is going to be hitting full damage. You can always expect to see this big ass number here every time on your first rotation. Moving on to sequence 3, we have, after you use your intro skill, you are going to get 12 incandescence, which is very good, by the way. This with sequence 3, I think now you will be able to always get maximum incandescence on your rotations, and it'll also give you up to 50% attack. So I'm going to assume you always have that 50% attack, which is factored in here. You can see my attack number is now boosted, leading us to get a plus 19.2% damage bonus, which is above, and this is all compared to sequence 0. You're doing 19.2% more damage in sequence 0. And this is only my Jinhsi. For you, if you're using a different weapon or a different artifact set, you can expect anywhere from maybe 15 to 20, but don't quote me on that. Moving on to sequence 4, this is going to enhance what? Let's see. Yeah, yes. When we use Purge of Light, which is our ultimate, or Illuminous Epiphany, which is our 4th resonance skill, we get plus 20% damage bonus. Now, I'm assuming this is going to give it to Jinhsi. This wouldn't make any sense if she didn't get it, which will then further increase our damage to plus 27.7. If we go to our damage bonus percent here, you can see that this is now at 3%. Previously, it was at 2.8. We got plus 20 more. So now we're at 3. Pretty good consolation. Not really, though. Sequence 4. Come on, man. You need to do better than give me just 20% damage bonus. I ain't letting that shit slide. Sequence 5. This is where shit gets a little funny, okay? The damage multiplier of Resonance Liberation, Purge of Evil, is increased by 120%. Now, the reason I'm talking about translation errors is Purge of Evil is not the name of her ultimate. It's Purge of Light. So I don't know what the hell Purge of Evil is. I straight up copied and pasted this from the website. So this isn't on me. It's on either the website or the game. And also, the damage multiplier is increased by 120%. They cannot just say increased by 120% because her ultimate has 2 damage percentages. We're going to hit for 499.81, and then we're going to hit for 1166.22. So for them to say it's increased by 120, I now have to assume that it's going to either affect one of these numbers or both of these numbers. So I just forefunded it and said it's going to affect both the numbers. That is why sequence 5 and sequence 6, I would really hold out until it's confirmed by more community members how this works. So if it does affect both parts, you can expect to see a plus 45% damage bonus on your ultimate. If you look at previous tiers on sequence 4, this is a plus 27. At sequence 5, this is now a plus 45. And of course, this is only buffing our ultimate, so nothing else is going up, right? Everything is staying the same. Let's look at sequence 6. Now, I'm going to give you guys a warning. You're going to see some very funny looking numbers here, All right, I jumped out my seat when I seen this shit. Just a warning. Boom. Sequence 6 states that Luminous Epiphany is increased, the base damage is increased by 45%. The multiplier increase brought by incandescence is additionally increased by 71%. What does that mean? Let's go back. See right here? Every stack of incandescence will increase the base damage or the motion value of Star Glamour by 26.84. This is going to add plus 71, bring it to 97.84. And it says additionally increased by 71%. So it's not multiplicative. They said additionally, which it's look at this damage percent right here, 4,306%. At maximum incandescence, which you're going to always be if you're at sequence 6, you're going to hit for 640,000 damage. Now, this is where I was bringing in using common sense to understand, is this too fucking broken or is this okay? You can't use that for sequence 6. This is going to cost people a lot of money to get at sequence 6. And I can't really like concur that this is too broken for that much money, or it doesn't matter. Because in other games, if you're going to C6 a 5-star character, it's already killing everything in the game. It's like you'll knock the wind off their shoulders type shit. So once again, this needs to be confirmed how this works. If this is the 71 is, I'm almost positive it's going to be additive with this and not multiplicative. And then this 45% also gets added here. So this is the only time I've shown you the damage increase on 0 incandescence, which is 58k. We go back, it's 51 here. But it's also increasing solar flare, right? All this damage number here plus 45%. There's two parts to a luminous epiphany. There is the solar flare and there is the star glamour. If this 45 is going to affect solar flare gets a plus 428% damage buff. This solar flare damage is no longer lil bro. It's big bro now. It's doing 57k. Previously, this shit is doing 17k. It's forgettable damage to being some humongous damage. And this damage comes out the same time as Star Glamour. So you can do 57k plus this 640 if everything is working the way I think it is. And that's really everything I wanted to show you guys, right? Sequences 0 to 6 using a mid-tier weapon. Not the best, not the worst. And yeah, so I'm going to summarize everything right now. I'm going to summarize everything assuming everything works. Is this shit... I mean, I shouldn't even ask, is it worth it to pull? Of course it isn't. It's going to cost you way too much money to get sequence 6. So let's go back a step or two, and I'll try to explain where it's worth it. Sequence 1 is not bad. My friend is going for sequence 1. It's not a bad constellation. You're getting plus 28% on her biggest hit or second biggest hit. But the problem is you're not going to have maximum incandescence. I don't believe in a full rotation. It's going to be too hard to get it. Sequence 2 will allow you to get that first rotation off very easily, right? The first rotation will always have maximum incandescence, so you can always do the biggest number. And then sequence 3 is the last spot, right? The last spot I would ever go on constellations for this character. If you do want to go this deep, sequence 3 is where you stop. So you would roll for not 1 but 2 copies of Jinhsi, and then you would use your points to buy the remaining 2. Do not roll anymore. Everything past sequence 3 is very, very overkill, right? I don't think. I mean, sequence 6 is like, you just pretend you didn't see the 640. So I would stop at sequence 3. That's all. That's how I'm gonna summarize it, and I'm not gonna tell you how to spend your money. Right? Use it how you think it's gonna be best. I'm only here to show you the information. Once again, if you found this informative in any way, shape, or form, feel free to leave a like. I'm going to be theory crafting more and more. And yeah, if you want to see it, feel free to leave a like and sub. That being said, peace out.